My name is Julian Mercer. I was 30 when my father-in-law pointed a gun at my 4-year-old daughter. "Sign the loan," he shouted. His hand wasn't even shaking. That's what I remember most. My wife, Elena, stood beside him, pale, trembling. "Just do it," she whispered. "Please, just sign it." I looked at her, not at the gun, at her, because that moment told me everything. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't desperation. This was planned. My daughter, Mila, stood frozen near the couch, clutching her stuffed rabbit. She didn't understand. Just scared. Just quiet. "Daddy?" she said softly. That almost broke me. But I didn't move, didn't reach for the pen, because once you sign something like that, you don't get your life back. "You're making a mistake," I said calmly. Her father laughed, a dry, ugly sound. "No," he said. "You already made one." The gun tilted slightly closer to Mila. Elena started crying. "Please, Julian, please."
I shook my head once. No. Silence. Heavy. Then, a shot rang out. Mila screamed. Elena dropped to her knees, and everything I thought I understood about that night changed in a single second. For a second, I couldn't hear anything, just a high ringing in my ears. Mila was still screaming. "Elena!" I shouted. She was on the floor, hands over her mouth, crying, but not hurt. I turned. The bullet had hit the wall, right behind Mila. Plaster cracked, dust falling, a warning shot. Nothing more, nothing less. My chest tightened, not relief. Something colder. Because that meant he wasn't panicking. He was in control. "Next one won't miss," he said quietly. Mila dropped to the floor, covering her head. That did it. Something inside me shifted. Not anger, not fear. Clarity. "You're not getting that signature," I said. Elena looked up at me like I'd lost my mind. "Julian, stop." "No," I said sharply. She froze, because she had never heard that tone from me before. Her father smirked. "You think you're in a position to negotiate?" I didn't answer. Just looked at him. Really looked. The way his grip was too tight. The way his eyes kept flicking to Elena. The way his confidence wasn't stable. That's when I realized this wasn't about power. This was about pressure, desperation, and desperate people make mistakes. I stepped forward, slow, deliberate. "Elena," I said calmly. She shook her head. "Don't." "Who's pushing him?" I asked. Silence. Her father's expression changed, just slightly, and that was all I needed. "Elena," I repeated, softer this time. She shook her head again, tears running down her face. "Don't do this," she whispered. But she wasn't talking to me. She was talking to him. That told me everything. "Who is it?" I asked. Her father stepped forward, gun still raised. "That's not your concern." I ignored him. "Elena." Her eyes met mine, and broke. "They'll take everything," she said suddenly. "The house, the business, everything." There it was. Not pride, not control, fear. "Who will?" I asked. She hesitated. Her father snapped. "Enough." But it was too late, because once truth starts moving, it doesn't stop. "Elena," I said calmly. "Look at me." She did, barely holding it together. "You trust me?" I asked. Her voice shook. "Yes." "Then stop listening to him for 1 second," I said. Silence. Heavy. Her father shifted, grip tightening, because now he was losing control of the room. "Tell me who's behind this," I said. She closed her eyes, then whispered, "Keller." The name landed wrong, heavy, familiar. My stomach tightened. Victor Keller, banker, predator, the kind of man who doesn't ask for repayment. He takes it. I nodded slowly. Now it made sense. Everything. The urgency, the gun, the threat. This wasn't about a loan anymore. This was about survival. And suddenly, the gun in his hand didn't feel like power. It felt like proof. Put the gun down, I said quietly. Not a command, not a plea, just a line. He didn't move. Of course he didn't. Men like him only move when they think they're winning. Keller won't wait, he said. You don't understand what we're dealing with. I do, I replied. More than he realized, because Keller didn't send threats like this, unless he was already cornered. You took money you couldn't return, I continued. And now you want me to carry it. Silence. Elena looked between us, confused, because I wasn't reacting the way she expected. Her father's jaw tightened. You think you're smarter than this? He snapped. No, I said calmly. I think you're late. That landed hard because it meant something had already changed. He took a step forward, gun still raised, but his confidence, not the same. What did you do? He asked. I looked at Mila, still on the floor, crying quietly, then back at him. I stopped reacting, I said. Silence stretched. Then I added, and I started moving first. His eyes narrowed. Meaning? I exhaled slowly. Meaning Keller already knows, I said. The room went still, because now, this wasn't about forcing me to sign anymore. This was about what happens when the wrong man realizes he's been lied to. He didn't breathe for a second, just stood there, processing. You're lying, he said finally. But his voice had changed, less certain, less loud. I shook my head. I don't lie when it matters, I said. Elena looked at me. What are you talking about? She asked. I didn't take my eyes off him. 3 days ago, I said calmly, I got a call from Keller's office. That was true, just not the whole truth. He wanted confirmation, I continued, about the loan, about you. Her father's grip tightened again. And what did you tell him? He asked. I stepped forward slightly, just enough to shift the space. That you were handling it, I said. Silence. Then I added, and that I'd be ready, if you weren't. That hit, because now, he understood. You went behind my back? He said. No, I replied. I went ahead of you. Elena looked between us again, lost, scared. Julian, what did you do? She whispered. I finally looked at her, softening just for a second. I made sure no one points a gun at my daughter again, I said, then back to him. And now Keller thinks you're stalling. His face drained, because he knew exactly what that meant. Because men like Keller don't send reminders, they send consequences. The gun dipped. Not much, but enough. That was the first crack. You don't know what you've done, he said. I didn't respond, because I did. Every move, every call, every word, calculated. Elena, he said suddenly, not looking at me. Get her upstairs. She hesitated, then rushed to Mila, pulling her into her arms. It's okay, baby. It's okay, she whispered. Mila clung to her, still shaking, still crying, but safe. That's all that mattered. I waited until they reached the stairs. Then I stepped closer, slow, deliberate. The gun lifted again, but his hand wasn't steady anymore. You think Keller will just walk away? He said. No, I replied. I think he'll walk in. Silence. Heavy. Because now he was imagining it. Doors opening, men entering, not asking questions, not waiting for answers. You used me, he said quietly. I almost smiled. You tried to use me, I corrected. That hurt more, because it was true. His jaw tightened. What do you want? He asked. There it was, the shift, from force to negotiation. I looked him in the eyes. First, I said calmly, you put the gun down. And this time, he didn't say no. He lowered the gun, slowly, like it weighed more than it should. Then he set it on the table, not tossed, not dropped, placed, careful. That told me everything. He wasn't thinking about control anymore. He was thinking about survival. Now what? He asked. No anger left, just tension. I stepped closer, picked up the gun, Removed the magazine, checked the chamber, empty. Set it aside. You tell me the truth, I said. He let out a breath. Long. Defeated. I took more than I could repay, he admitted. Keller fronted it fast. Too fast. I nodded. How much? He hesitated. Then, 8 million. Elena's voice came from the stairs. What? She was standing there, frozen, hearing everything. You said it was a short-term gap, she whispered. It was supposed to be, he replied. But even he didn't believe that anymore. Then why the gun? She asked. He looked at her, then at me. Because I thought forcing him to sign would fix it. I shook my head slightly. No, I said. It would have buried it. Silence. Then I stepped back, gave them space, but not control. Here's what happens now, I said calmly. They both looked at me, waiting, because now I was the only one in that room with options. Here's what happens now, I said. No rush, no anger, just control. You call Keller, I continued, right now, on speaker. He didn't argue, didn't hesitate. He picked up his phone, dialed. The line rang once, twice, then, Keller, a voice answered, cold, direct. I need to talk, my father-in-law said, trying to sound steady. You're already late, Keller replied. I stepped closer. Put it on speaker, I said. He did. Elena's father has something to explain, I added. A pause. Then Keller's tone shifted. Who is this? Julian Mercer, I said calmly. Silence. Heavy, because he knew the name. You called me 3 days ago, I continued. About the loan. Another pause, longer. Then, yes, Keller said slowly. I remember. I glanced at the man who had just pointed a gun at my child, then back at nothing. Good, I said, because you're about to hear the truth, directly from him. No escape now, no pressure, just exposure. My father-in-law swallowed hard, then started talking, everything, the money, the lies, the desperation, and as his voice filled the room, something shifted, not loud, not dramatic, just final. Because the moment he finished, Keller didn't threaten, didn't shout. He simply said, I'll be there shortly. The call ended. Silence. Elena looked at me. Different now. Not afraid. Not confused. Certain. Because she finally understood. I didn't save us by signing. I saved us by making the truth unavoidable.